Greetings, fellow humans. Today we're doing another top 5 Star Wars. I should make this into a series. I really should. I might make a playlist for you guys. Just saying. So this is the second one. We're doing my personal top 5 favorite gray Jedi. Now, let me define what a gray Jedi is. It's a Jedi that doesn't particularly align with the Jedi or Sith. Their whole purpose, according to their code, is basically to bring balance to the Force. And basically, it just to tell both of them, I don't want to join you, I don't want to join you, I just want to kind of mesh you two together. That's pretty much what a gray Jedi is. It's mainly Jedi, well, Force users who were Jedi or Sith or swapped, so like they were on both sides. And there's a couple of them that you might not expect. Okay, so number 5, Ahsoka Tano. Ahsoka Tano, after the Clone Wars, really wasn't a Jedi anymore. She even tells Vader that she is no Jedi. Hence her white lightsabers. Now, she got those lightsabers because, according to the comics, the canon comics, lightsabers will turn red when the Sith put all their emotion into it, and it makes the crystal feel pain, aka bleeding. So yeah, it makes the crystal pretty much feel like its user, and they must steal it from a Jedi. Now Vader did this, but he had like a droid training staff, and he barely got his way out of it. But he ended up getting it, and it's the blade he uses. Now, Ahsoka got her white ones from an Inquisitor from her book called Ahsoka. Check it out. She killed an Inquisitor, and she purified his crystals to make them white. When they're purified, they just turn white. Oh yeah, by the way, Chaos and Darch, the Jedi, the Jedi Sherlock Holmes, his lightsaber is not white. It's white. It's very light blue. Ooh, it was confirmed by that. It's not white. It's light blue, very light, according to them. Yeah, Ahsoka, after Order 66, she really wasn't a Jedi anymore. And she really didn't align with it. She was studying the Sith, and she was already a Jedi, so she knew both sides of it. And during the war, and being apprenticed to Anakin, and leaving the Jedi Order, she had experienced anything and above. And it really changed her mindset and made her seem more of the neutral. So yeah, number 5, that's Ahsoka. At number 4, we have Bastila Shan. Now, you might not know who Bastila Shan is. It's from the Knights of the Old Republic game and the book Revan. So, she was a Jedi Knight. She had a double-bladed lightsaber that was yellow. So, it's basically a Temple Guard lightsaber, but it's just hers. I think SW Tor kind of copied it with Satila Shan because she has a double-bladed blue one. They're actually descendants. Yeah, they're descendants of each other, so I can see probably why they would kind of copy each other. But anyway, Bastila Shan was a pure Jedi, like, not that pure. There was like one really pure Jedi, and she didn't really follow the code that much. Like, she followed it so vividly. I don't want to get into that because that's kind of a lot. Yeah, she followed the code pretty well, and then she was kind of edgy a little bit because of the Jedi Civil War, and everyone was turning to the dark side, or just straight up leaving the Order, and there was chaos and all that stuff. And Revan turning to the dark side. Well, I'll get back to him in a minute. He won number 1 in the last one, and I talked to one of my subscribers, and he said, I have a different list, and he told me the list. I forgot what it was. Maybe if you can tell me again in the comments or something like that. Yeah, so Bastila Shan's here because after their encounter with Malak, and Revan was revealed to be the former Dark Lord of the Sith, she was captured, tortured for a week, and turned to the dark side. Malak only turned to the dark side because she has a special ability called battle meditation, which means that she just has to meditate on something. Well, she has to meditate, and whatever side she's fighting for, they get higher morale, and the key is that it makes the enemy lose their morale, and it makes them act erratically terrible. That's practically how the Republic won the Battle of Rakata Prime. That's what they did. So yeah, she was turned to the dark side, and Revan brought her back to the light on the Starforge. So she in the council a few years earlier had like a year earlier had wiped Revan's mind, so he wouldn't remember his Sith past, and they made him a Republic soldier. And she was pretty much horrified after she married him, because that's just how it works. Yeah, it's kind of weird, but yeah, kudos on the creators to making it a good storyline. It actually kind of is a cool storyline. And they did have a son, I forget his name, and then Satele Shan came like a few generations later. So what was I gonna say? Yeah, so after that, and going to the dark side, she was like, I can't go back to the council, and I can't go back to the Jedi. That's practically what she keeps saying over and over in the book, and the book's like just okay. It's okay. I mean, I wouldn't say it's good or bad. I would just say it's kind of meh. It's like kind of in the mesh region. It's practically what this video is about. Grey Jedi are in the mesh area, and the book is in the mesh area. How ironic. But yeah, she repeats over and over that her disgust for what they did on Revan's mind, and she kind of babbles on about it, and she broke the Jedi Code after that, and she's practically a Grey Jedi. That's all. So she's a Grey Jedi, but she didn't really follow the Grey Jedi Code. She didn't follow any Jedi Code. I think any Force Code. She just kind of did her own thing, but she kind of counts as a Grey Jedi. So, what was that, number 4? Yes, that was number 4. And number 3. At number 3, we have Revan. I just talked about Revan, about the Bastila Shan thing, but after the battle above Rakata Prime and the destruction of the Starforge, he just basically became a Grey Jedi. And he really became that because his mind split in two in the SWTOR RPG game. And he was in prison for 500 years. So he'd pretty much become a Grey Jedi within like a year. Or like even a week. So that's pretty good. That's pretty good, bro. What was I saying? Yes. Revan's more of the character who Malik says, what do you say? Oh yeah. Savior, conqueror, hero, villain, you're all things, Revan, and yet you are nothing in the end. You belong to neither the light or the dark. You will forever stand alone. He means that because he's literally a Grey Jedi. That's all you need to know about Revan. He won the last one as the Dark Lord of the Sith, and he gets pretty high up on the Grey Jedi list. I should totally make this into a playlist. I'll do that for you guys. Yeah, that's all I gotta say. Number 3, that was Revan. Number 2! Whew, we're getting into the high ones now. Number 2. I'm thinking of it. Hold on. Number 2. Alright, number 2. Luke Skywalker. And you're gonna be thinking, whoa, Luke Skywalker's not a Great Jedi. He is a Jedi. When it comes to the D&D chart, he's usually the neutral good. Like, he fights for the Jedi, but in The Last Jedi, ironically, he says it's time for the Jedi to end, and that's obviously meaning that he wants to bring full balance to the Force. That's not really what the director was saying, but as a result, I'm gonna call him a Great Jedi. And you can believe what you want to believe, but I just kind of think that when it came to it, he was more of a great Jedi because he didn't follow the Jedi Code. He didn't actually really know the Jedi Code because he wasn't the normal Jedi. He started training at 19, so did Rey, so that's kind of more copying. I need to do that sequel rant eventually. Yeah, so he didn't really follow the Jedi rules, like, because of the situation that he was in, and the Masters just kind of allowed it. I'm just going to consider him a great Jedi. So, yeah, in The Last Jedi, he wants the Jedi to end, and he's the last one, so he just wants to end it all, and then he kind of changes up his mind. But for that short time period, it's probably a long enough period to say that he's a great Jedi. And in Legends, he was also the Grand Master, but he seemed like he kind of doubted that the Jedi were really doing any good. So, and there's probably more things that say that he is a great Jedi. So I'm gonna consider number 2 is Luke Skywalker on the top 5 great Jedi list. Yeah, alright. And finally, here you go. This might be another controversial one, and you may not agree with it. You probably don't even know this character. It's from the old timeline, just to let you guys know. And I think, personally, my number 1 great Jedi, just to put into other movie, into kind of real life retrospect, a great Jedi is pretty much they're like the kind of cowboy of the West. They're kind of like the outlaw, or the one who does good and they also do bad. That's practically what it is. At number 1, you might not know this one, but it is Jaina Solo. Now, I think Jaina Solo is pretty much a great Jedi in her own right. She carried a purple lightsaber, and according to the old Jedi, the Jedi Order, before Order 66, that one, they considered a purple lightsaber a sign that you were about to follow the dark side. And they kind of let Mace Windu go because he could channel them both. Revan also carried one. If you carried a purple lightsaber, then that meant you were defiant to both sides. That's why Revan kept his. But that's what it means, really. Yeah, Jaina Solo carried that, and she was kind of she called herself good, but she did some bad. So, and it seems like it kind of ends there, but Jaina Solo's story goes even further. She was willing to kill her own brother, her twin brother. By that, I mean that Jacen Solo, her brother, fell to the dark side, which means that she's probably a pure heart Jedi. Well, no, she killed her own brother instead of turning him back to the light, but I guess he was already kind of gone by that point. So, what do you think? First, I'm also gonna unveil some honorable mentions that I thought really didn't count. This one I thought would probably make the list. So here's a list of the fewest honorable mentions. So our first honorable mention is Cade Skywalker. He is the descendant of Luke Skywalker in the old timeline, and he was a bounty hunter for most of his life. Because he wanted to forget his past and he didn't want the galaxy being on his back. But he did end up becoming a Jedi for a few days, and he kind of ended it there, and he lived in peace for the rest of his life, pretty much. He was basically kind of the street outlaw or bounty hunter, taking jobs, and then he was also a Jedi at the same time. That's awesome, honestly. Our second honorable mention is Meetra Surik. Also known as the Exile, because she was exiled by the Jedi Council. That's what they called her. She had a falling out party with the Council. But yeah, Meetra Surik, she carried a Scion lightsaber, which is a lighter blue. It's not like the light blue that I've already talked about. It's kind of like it's like a neon blue. Or, you know what I'm talking about. It's kind of more of a sky blue than just kind of mesh blue. But yeah, Mitra Surik was kicked out of the Order, and she was called the Exile. So that means that her opinions on the Jedi were probably bad, and she also had bad opinions on the Sith. So, as a result, she's kind of in the middle. I couldn't really find too much good evidence besides that would call her a great Jedi. So I really just left it there, and that's really all I had. You could controversially say Mace Windu because he carried a purple lightsaber. Because he could channel both, but he aligned with the Jedi really strongly, so he's not a great Jedi, according to most. Who else? There's a couple others that I was thinking of. Oh, also, Dark Jedi are not great Jedi, because they align with the Sith. So, they're not great Jedi. There's not really any other great Jedi besides that you can really think of, because they really did their own thing, and they didn't like to go out in public that much. Like, they really didn't want to get into affairs that much. So, it's really the only big one that you guys probably know about are Revan, Bastila Shan, and Ahsoka Tano. Besides that, it really just kind of runs dry. So, what do you guys think? What's your top 5 favorite great Jedi? I'm making this whole kind of top 5 Star Wars into a playlist for you guys, so you can thank me for that. We're going to be doing this a little bit more often. I know it's kind of choppy, but maybe we can do it like kind of a back and forth. I think I might eventually run out of ideas for this because of obvious reasons. Yep, anyway, subscribe, like, comment, share. Subscribe to my second channel, Weekly Review, which I did a video on yesterday, so you guys could actually know what it is. Do all the same things for that. And, as always, thanks for watching. Des Vidania, everyone.